What's going on, everyone? It's the People's Envoy Updog here with you, and today I've got an important, relevant video for you. It is the walkthrough for the Professor X Saga. I'm going to start with the Gladiator or City section. The Nimrod section was pretty easy. What I did personally was use Night Stalkers and just ran all the way through it, easy peasy. Night Stalkers are great because of Oath, particularly because of Oath, I guess, because she generates ability energy when you get a kill. So you can always be ulting with Moon Knight and Blade and Oath and Agatha. All of them AoEs, all of them except for Blade that I just mentioned are hit everybody. Blade hits just primary and adjacents, but still he's a great ult. So yeah, Night Stalkers just destroyed for me. For my team, they were Gear 19. They're all 3 diamonds, but I'm don't think you're gonna have an issue if you have 1 diamond or even 7 red on all of them. It was super easy, and yeah, getting through that Nimrod boss still was pretty easy. So you might have to reset a couple of them. I think there was a couple where might have gotten some bad RNG or something, but that's easy. The easy one, the Nimrod section, no restrictions. So, I mean, you don't have to use Night Stalkers. You just go wild, but I just wanted to use them because they have all those great things going for them. So, this video, though, is going to be for the city section, the gladiator section, and so I'll show you what I had available to me. I want to give a big shout out to Reina. She finished number 7 overall in getting Professor X. She was an alliance mate of mine, still a good friend. So thank you, Reina, for letting me use your roster to make some of these videos here. So I'll show you what I had to work with here, and I'll show you what I tried, because I was trying to make this video series basically on a budget, basically like doing the saga on a budget, like using cheap costing gear characters, like characters that'll take 1 gear piece, 2 gear pieces, and so on. So really cheap characters, but also not like characters that are just not helpful for you in other modes. So trying to strike that balance. So I did use some of these here. So Silver Sable, Punisher, Blade, Oath. Those are our city characters. There's some of them anyway. We've got, she did Elektra. She did Daredevil Modern. Now, Scopely recommends the Vigilantes, Blade, and Oath. Reina did also have Spider Society, though. Here's Penny. There's Pav. Peter B is somewhere around here. She had Peter B as well. So I did try them. They worked out okay. Actually, not okay. They worked out really good in the first 2 missions of City. But when you get to that mission with Noel, it was pretty rough. Like I reset like I don't know 4 or 5 times, and I was sick of it. So I knew I had the recommended characters, so I just went with those. And you'll see here. I'm gonna flip to the walkthrough here in just a minute. What I did was I just did voiceover. You're not gonna see my face, but stick around for the tips that I'm gonna give in the voiceover. And yeah, I definitely would recommend the team that I used in those nodes, which was Daredevil Modern, Punisher, what's her name, Silver Sable, Oath, and Blade. So that's who I use for all the nodes. The walkthrough's coming up. Stick around for the end, and I will go over what we're going to be doing in the next video. In this series, I'm going to try and do these every other day to try and get them out, because I do have all of them all recorded. So I want to get them out for you just in case you are progressing through, or maybe you're watching this 3 to 6 months from the time I record it. I will probably do an update 6 to 9 months in from when I post this and see how things have changed, see what characters are going to be good in the future. So hang tight. We're going to be rolling to the footage of each of the nodes and walkthroughs and which characters to focus down. So enjoy, and I'll see you after here. Alright, so we got our team of vigilantes with also Blade and Oath. We're going to make Daredevil a healer, because you're definitely going to need some healing going on these nodes, these missions. Punisher is a great striker, so he does a lot of damage, and it's really nice to get those that ISO attack with him. Blade's a great striker as well, so everybody else I found was pretty good as a raider. So going in here with the ult from Silver Sable, that removes all of the buffs. It also removes Safeguard up to 2 turns, so already clearing a bunch of characters out here. Now I went into the Nova because I was trying to drop his charges, so that way we can just get past all that healing that he does. Go with the ult here with Blade to try and rewind all 3 of those characters there. It's important to try and rewind as many characters as you can. And also kill the Dorm, obviously. Don't want him to do his special and get his charges going, so had an Omega Sentinel revive here, so got to deal with that. Punisher handled it nicely. Now, something to remember for Blade's special, it also does heal a little bit, so you might want to be able to use that at some point if you come to it on these missions to try and heal. But basically when this Omega Red Phoenix Force drops, gotta try and take him out. He does a lot of damage. We don't want that on our team here, especially if you have low stars on your newer vigilante characters. Punisher's special is really nice too, because it copies positive effects and gives it to the vigilante characters, teammates, so definitely want to use that in a key moment if you need some buffs, but make sure you don't use it if he has disrupted. If Punisher has disrupted, he will not transfer those positive effects to his teammates. Then we got Kang and Nimrod dropping. I probably could have targeted the Nimrod with the basic from Punisher since it does chain, but I figured wherever it goes, it doesn't matter. We just want to get that Kang and that Nimrod out of there as quick as possible. And there you go. Alright, on to mission number 2 now. So we do go with the special this time with Silver Sable, trying to knock down that scroll a little bit. That way we don't have to worry about his passive going off later in the match. So we do the special on scroll. It does hit Thanos, so it does drop him a little bit sooner than you probably want, but luckily his passive, at least for this team, or if you do have low stars, it might hurt a little bit, so you might want to try to control that a little bit better, but for this team, it wasn't too bad. Now, good thing to note about Daredevil is on his special, he will do a slow, so if you're thinking you're going to need a slow on some characters, the special is good. The special and the ult both do flip or clear negative effects for vigilantes. Now, his ult clears negative effects for all allies, so that's one you kind of want to hold on to just in case. At least that's what I did anyway. So we wiped out everyone in this first wave here, just finished off the scroll. Then we're going to have a bunch of zombie juggernauts come in. There's 2 here. I think there's 1 or 2 more that come in. So they're going to protect that Scarlet Witch. I did find that if you did an ult with Blade onto, or at least hit Scarlet Witch in some way or another, sometimes I did have to reset this a few times. But if you can get that ult onto Scarlet Witch and get a blind on her, that's pretty huge. Very helpful for you to not have to deal with her attacks that she puts out there. And then the other important thing to note is when you get to this wave here, when Vol drops, the second Vol, this is not the first Vol, the second Vol here, you want to take that Vol out as quickly as possible. Try to control her like I just did there with the ability block on the special from Oath, because that's the reason why I had to reset a few times, is because I just left Vol alone, and with the exposed mechanic that she has, and also with Thanos too, she was able to get off her ult very quickly, and she brought back 3 people that I killed right off the bat, and that was, most of the time it was Skrull and another Thanos, and I don't even remember who was the third, but it didn't matter because it was a nightmare having a full board of 10 characters out there. So definitely take out that Vol as soon as you can. This Thanos you don't have to worry about too much. Just basically just don't let him have his passive pop off, or try not to let him ult if you can help it, especially if your characters are kind of low on health. So we're going in here to the Icarus now, put that exposed on him. There goes the Thanos. See that? Thanos doesn't hurt too much on this team that I'm using. It is a pretty powerful team as far as the new characters go. So like I said before, at the beginning, you want to probably have at least 4 yellow and 4 red stars on the new characters, if not 5. But really, the Vigilante team, like I said, is really the way to go. So I would, if you're, I mean, you can obviously keep trying it at the low stars. I've heard some people have it work for them, but it's definitely going to be a lot more resets than if you have a little bit higher stars on them. So we got the 2 Icaruses left, and that's it for this node here, this mission. So it is a little tricky, but just keep an eye on some of those things I talked about. Alright, so we're going in here to the 3rd mission and trying to figure out my positioning, but still the same ISOs. Well, I did Punisher as a Raider here on this one, in this attack, but I think he's definitely a better striker than he is a Raider. Just overall, in whether it be raids or other modes, I think he's definitely going to be a good striker. I think Silver Sable's actually going to be a good striker as well. But for this, I think she makes more sense as a Raider because she doesn't put out those vulnerables because it's not a raid, basically. So in raids, though, I think she would be a great striker. So yeah, we I was talking there a lot there, but we cleared out the Null. You basically want to hard focus the Null, and then you want to worry about the Red Goblins because they can revive Null, especially they can revive Null. So then we're going to try to control this Void Knight as well. So he's out of there. The Red Goblins do hurt a little bit, so that's why I'm saying you got to try to control them. And then Gore, he's not as big of an issue on this mission because he doesn't have any Annihilator characters with him. So he's not putting the safeguard out on anybody except for himself. So it's not too bad. You can probably ignore him a little bit at the beginning once he drops, but yeah, just focusing on the Red Goblins and him are probably the priority targets right now. And that good old special from Punisher, like I said, is a great ability to have, especially when you really need maybe some heals or something. There we go. So this node I tried with Spider Society and it just went really bad, so definitely want to use Vigilantes. Alright, so mission number 4. Alright, so here we do want to go after the Gore, just because he does have a Thanos with him. He'll give Thanos safeguard, so we want to try to avoid that if we can. And we do get the Gore down here after we get this Punisher ult. I'm trying not to target the Thanos though, because we don't want to drop him yet. So I went after the Miss Marvel Classic. Try to get her health down a little bit. Now she does taunt because Kohori took a turn, but we're going to rewind everybody here. That is going to drop the Thanos, but again, well, that hurt Oath quite a bit actually. And then also, you got to try and control the Ancient One before she takes a turn, because her special can be devastating. Because not only is she flipping buffs that you may have, she's also giving counter to every single ally, no matter who they are. So, definitely want to keep her under control. Quicksilver can be a pain still. So, control him. Trying to figure out what I want to do here. Now, the ult, on top of what I talked about earlier, where it will cleanse the whole team, no matter if they're vigilantes or not, he will also taunt on that ult. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to focus the enemy's attacks on him. That's what you want to do as well. Thanos with the ult, that didn't hurt too bad. We want to save that ult from Silver Sable though, because we're going to save that for the next wave, or maybe later in the match. I can't remember. Can't remember exactly, but definitely want to save it. You don't want to use it here. It's kind of a waste here. Also, another thing to remember is Punisher has extra accuracy because of Daredevil. So if you do see an evade, like I did, like you had on that Scarlet Witch, he will still hit the whoever has evade. So that's a really nice bonus little feature they added into Daredevil. I like that. And here's another Gore popping in here. He has 2 charges, so we do want to try and get rid of him so that way his passive doesn't go off. It's another Thanos passive popping off, and there goes the ult with Silver Sable just clearing the way for everyone. Yeah, it's hard being a very veteran player for me to remember that Punisher now chains, so I still got to try and get used to that a little bit, but it's great that they did that. Alright, last mission. It's the boss node. It's Gladiator. Let's see what we can do here. His special mechanics, I guess you could call it, they seem like they're scary, but they're really not too bad. Especially when you have Silver Sable, her ult, it can pop off right at the beginning. Get rid of that safeguard, put some disrupt out there, get some damage early on him with Punisher. It's very beautiful. So we're going into him with Blade's ult. That took out a big chunk of damage. And we did not get exposed on him though. I don't think it's too big of a deal. to not land it, but would have been nice if it did. So try and get as many debuffs on him as you can. Like I said, you can try and get that slow from Daredevil. There was the copy. I copied the speed up, so that's definitely given us a little bit of an advantage on the Vigilante characters. Having speed up is nice. Gladiator resisted the defense down from Silver Sable. That was a little unfortunate, but... So I'm trying to get the slow on him here. That didn't work, but we got him at half health. My team's looking pretty good as far as health goes, so I think we'll be okay. That was a huge hit there from Blade. That was insane. That offense up is just amazing. And that Punisher ISO attack, really good stuff too. The ult, I didn't really need the ult. He already has taunt. So we're gonna do the basic there. Silver Sable. Just about ready to finish him off. Yep, that'll finish it off right there. Alright, so there you have it. That was the end of the city section. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Let me know who you're using. I know some people, like I said, were using lower star, 3-star, 4-star characters. I think 4-star is probably where you want to go. And like I said before, you could try and do it with 3 stars. Just expect to do a lot more resets. But I think it, could be possible. Oh, if you get good RNG, then that's what you're looking for when you're going in with 3-star characters, 4-star characters. Definitely want to power them up. And then we'll see how Hitmonkey does. If he does like amazingly better, then I might do an update video real quick and test out Hitmonkey with the team. He does give them energy as well, the Vigilantes, I believe. So we'll see how that goes. But look out for my next section, which will be the Shadow King / global characters. So keep a lookout for that in the next day or two. And until next time, make sure you spend those resources wisely. That's what I'm all about. That's why I'm doing these videos. I thought we could get around it by what Scopely said was maybe you can theorycraft your way to victory. Well, no. The buffs to the Vigilantes are too important to waste your time, waste your resources on other characters. So definitely want to go with that team. But until next time, we'll see you around.